Mr. Secretary, I wonder if there is any kind of hope for a deal on this. I mean, I want to think that there could be something as big as the Eisenhower Interstate Highway kind of Act, the whole project there. But I don't feel as though this is something that can happen in my lifetime. We've been talking about it for so long. What's the biggest hurdle to getting a deal done?
Well, Dom, I think as long as they're talking, there is the possibility. And as long as there's a possibility, there should be hope. I'd like to commend the president for being visionary here and offering a big and bold plan, something for the members to actually contend with, grapple with, debate, discuss, and hopefully bring to closure with the kind of bill that represents what you're talking about, an Eisenhower era measure that really focuses America on the future. That's exactly what the president is trying to do. He wants this new measure to be one that represents resilience, sustainability, equity when it comes to infrastructure investment, and one that allows us to compete on the global stage. So I'm still excited about the potential for a bipartisan bill, and one that is big and bold, and one that meets the responsibility and the challenge of this hour.
Well, I mean, so let's talk about this, because these talks have been happening in some way, shape, or form for decades. That's literal now. It's been decades people have been talking about this kind of a move here. Let's harken back to your time at the Federal Highway Agency as Transportation Secretary. What exactly is the big hurdle here? It seems bipartisan. We should all be spending money on improving roads and bridges and tunnels and bringing our infrastructure back up to speed. Why can we not get a deal done? What's the biggest roadblock to this?
Well, Dom, it's interesting. You mentioned a time when we did get a large measure passed. Actually, a very important sort of gift to the Clinton administration was a major piece of legislation that passed during the Bush administration, bipartisan. Then we had the opportunity to reauthorize that measure, and were able to add additional funding to it that allowed us to move now for more than 30 years, move forward. But we haven't moved forward in the way that we should have. We need high-speed rail. We need to now focus on electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles, and the like. We need to shore up and strengthen the sustainability of our transportation infrastructure system. I know that Secretary Pete Buttigieg was just in my home area of Arkansas, Tennessee, at the Mississippi River, looking at a bridge that is now out of service because of a crack in the structure. We need to address these kind of challenges not only in the middle of the country, but we've got the Brent Spence Bridge. We've got major infrastructure facilities across this country that need to be addressed. And the members have to be challenged to step forward and meet, again, the challenge of the president at this time. We're looking for the Monahans, the Chafees, the John Warners. We're looking for the kind of leadership that we had in those days from a Mineta, from a Schuster, from a John Hammersmith, and others on the House side.
Sure.
I think we find that, and I think if the president continues to move forward in a visionary way, we'll get there.
We have just a few seconds left, Mr. Secretary. From one secretary to another, what's your biggest piece of advice for Secretary Pete Buttigieg on the transportation front?
Well, it's to just stay as calm as he is, to stay as engaged as he is, and to really lean on not only his team, but the career staff at the Department of Transportation to reach out, to actually use the skills that he's developed as a mayor. Mayors don't look away. Mayors look at problems. They realize that the obstacle can be the way, and he needs to take this moment as it is, deal with it as it is, keep everyone engaged, and continue to be the kind of advocate that the president has challenged him to be.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.